Thing is that I started as a songwriter when I was just entering the business. Um, I had friends of mine that were part of the BMI workshop,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I had a lot of new friends in New York, including a very young Michael Carm, who I went to high school with.
Oh, wow.
And we had a very strong circle of friends, and there was a guy named Jack Holmes who was in the BMI workshop, and he heard my writing straight out of college. He said, "You should be in Lehman Engel's workshop." So when I first moved to New York in the 70s, I joined the composer's workshop.
Mm.
And I met a wonderful lyricist named Annette Leiston, and I had a pop lyricist, and I was at Screen Gems. I was a staff writer for Don Kirshner, and he didn't know what to do with me. I mean, it was just, I would try to write songs for Herman's Hermits and things like that. I actually did hand claps on Carole King's records. I mean, I've always had a songwriter in me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but I ended up doing theater and writing with Annette. We wrote things for Barry and Fran Weissler when they were producing kids shows. So I did Tom Sawyer and Swiss Family Robinson. We set Family Robinson in Scarsdale. It was just, and they were wonderful shows. And then I wrote Babes in Toyland, but we called it The Babes in Toyland. We made them a rock group, and they played Madison Square Garden. I mean, I was always writing. And then I came out here, and I lost both lyricists. I mean, we didn't have the success that Alan Menken or Stephen Schwartz, and I played Godspell for years, but I was very frustrated as a writer. So the people knew me as an arranger.
Mm-hmm.
So I came out here to work with Bonnie Franklin on her television special.
Right, which is how we met.
Yeah. because I was
Many
doing,
years later.
Yes, I was doing an thing about an off-Broadway cabaret.
Right.
But I met 3 or 4 years later. I met Andrea, who I knew at Reno Sweeney's. I played for everybody else but Andrea. I played for, Jane Oliver and Chad Mitchell, but never Andrea, because she had her own. The guy that owned Reno Sweeney's was a good piano player, and that's who she worked with. And then years later, she came to me, and I'll never forget it. She came in with music. I don't know how she carried it. She spread it all over. She said, "I know there's an act in here somewhere."
Oh, wow.
Because she was talking to her boyfriend at the time, Henry Jaglom, and he said, "Why don't you do an act?" So for 3 months, we just went through songs, and that's how I started with her. But through all of this was my songwriting, which I literally gave up until Bonnie had the idea, let's set Judith Viorst's poems to music. And it seems that a lot of people tried to do that. There were television specials where people tried to include her, because they felt that she was she could have been a natural lyricist, and it was Bonnie's manager and myself that really got her to write songs, and now you can't stop her.
Right.
And meanwhile, I got back into songwriting. I worked with Carol Hall. I worked with Amanda McBroom. I really got back into songwriting.
Welcome to the world of Cabaretbia, the world where Broadway, jazz, comedy, and pop share the spotlight and a 2-drink minimum. With your host, producer, director Clifford Bell, keeping the world safe for live performances in intimate settings on Global Voice Broadcasting.